Can we truly be happy and can we heal from something traumatic if we haven't forgiven the person that committed the offense? I think it's important to explore these questions because a lot of people struggle with forgiveness. And in fact, whenever I do a video on forgiveness, there are many people that make it clear that they can never forgive someone because of something that was done to them. But what I want to point out is this. It is possible to live your life without forgiving someone. It's possible to be happy without forgiving someone. It is possible to even start healing without forgiving someone. But bear this in mind. If there is an emotion like anger or rage or frustration or resentment, when you hear about similar offenses to yours or the person who offended you is mentioned, that means that your wound is not healed. And I think the important thing to remember is that when a wound is not completely healed, it will affect the way we show up in the world. That may mean that we may behave in certain ways with other people or even with our children, for example. And this is how we carry along generational trauma, because without meaning to, we will visit this trauma on our kids, on the people around us, simply because we are unable to let go of this thing that happened. And as a result, the people we come in contact with, the people that we take care of, will have their own traumas visited upon them from what we do because we haven't healed. So I think the key thing to remember is this. You don't have to forgive to start your healing process, and you certainly don't have to forgive to be happy. However, if that wound isn't healed, it's going to show up in some way in your life. And you may say to yourself, I'm happy with that. I can take that, and that's fine. However, for those people who are contemplating forgiveness, and I add myself into that list because there are many areas in my life where I still need to forgive people. So when you are contemplating forgiveness, there is something you can do. There's a question you can ask yourself. And the point of this question is to bring in empathy. And this is not condoning what anybody else has done to you. This is not saying what they did was okay. But empathy allows us to see a different perspective. And how we bring in empathy is this. We ask this question. What happened to this person that caused them to behave in this manner? Now, it is not our job to fix the other person. It's not our job to make what the other person did seem okay, but it is our job to fix ourselves. And this question allows us to reflect on the fact that people that do terrible things are usually people that have had terrible things done to them. That doesn't mean what they did was okay. But when we can start to soften, and I think this is the beginning point. This is where I always find is the beginning point for me, is softening my stance to the person, softening my hatred or my anger or my resentment for the person. It doesn't disappear, but it's reducing slowly. And when you start to do that, you are on that path of trying to forgive. It doesn't mean forgiveness is going to come instantly. It could take months, years, and sometimes in some situations, it may never actually fully happen. But every time you soften yourself to that person, to what they did, in acceptance of what happened, you heal a little bit. And the more you heal your wound, the better it's going to be for you, so that you don't show up in a way that you don't want to show up, so that you don't visit your trauma on your own children, on the next generation, so that you can show up happily and more joyful than you've been showing up previously. So it's something to think about if you're contemplating, how do I forgive? Because a lot of people still don't know what that process looks like. Asking yourself that question, bringing a little bit of empathy and compassion into it, may help you start the process. I hope that helps.